Hey guys and gals, I wanted to go ahead and give an update in regards to some of the games that I'm playing so I can give you some of my first impressions with some of these, as well as just kind of my first thoughts and everything like that. And I want to go ahead and start with, as you can see over my shoulder here, we've got the collector's edition for the Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters for the Nintendo Switch. It also came out for the PS4, and these darn things were so hard to get. Not only the collector's edition that you see, but also the standard edition here. But this actually came separate in the package with the collector's edition, along with a sleeve that I've got separate. I've got this with my normal Final Fantasy collection itself, and overall my impressions are pretty much the same that I had with the Steam version of this, with a couple updates and whatnot. I feel like the Pixel Remasters strive to be the ultimate or best version for what the original creators of the first 6 Final Fantasies meant for these to be. And the nice thing is, the console version of this is really something that is a further improvement. Now, there are bugs and whatnot with the Steam versions of the Pixel Remasters, and it looks like, for the most part, all of them are fixed. There's no real bugs or anything like that. It also comes with not only the arranged music by Nobu-san, but also the original BGMs as well. So I felt like that was a really nice touch. It also has the standard, modern, really kind of scrunched up font, but also has like a pixelated font, which is much better. I kind of wish they had the Japanese font. If you've ever seen videos of the modded fonts for the PC Steam versions of the Pixel Remasters, it has a more like solid, wider look to it, and I kind of wish that that's what the console version of the text had. But hey, what we've got for that is still pretty good. And my thoughts are pretty much the same. I've played and completed Final Fantasies 1, 4, and I'm nearly done with 3 here, and I'll be doing 5 and 6 probably next. And one of the fun things with these is that the console version has a boost for both the amount of gil and the experience that you get, as well as in 5 and 6, some of the magic points and ability points that you get too. So I felt like that was pretty cool. So you can really just fly by and cruise through these, or what I'm going to do for the first time with 6 when I play it is cut the experience in half and really play that game for like the experience itself, because Final Fantasy VI is kind of like one of the easier of the Final Fantasies, and it's also my favorite game of all time, as well as favorite Final Fantasy, so it'll be cool to play it that way. One of the things I noticed when I played the Pixel Remaster of 6 is that it actually was probably the hardest version of 6 that I played on PC Steam. I actually died a couple times. It's got a surprise on that, but that's kind of cool. My impressions on 1 is that it again is kind of the same as the PC Steam version. It was pretty standard fare for Final Fantasy, probably one of the best versions of 1 because it misses out on all the bugs that the original version had, and it is pretty true to the original sprites. 4 is still pretty cool. Again, I felt like it was a little bit easier versus like the original SNES or Super Famicom Japanese version. Overall, it's still a really good game. I, of course, did the thing where I leveled up Rydia to level 60 before the party itself goes on the boat and gets shipwrecked by Leviathan. It's just a fun habit that I picked up as a kid, because, you know, I had no life, so I had RPGs, and the nice thing is with the boost 4 times experience, that made that 4 times as quick, so that was cool. And then Final Fantasy 3 is really the hidden gem in this whole series, because it's the original pixelated version, but of course upscaled and remastered and everything, so it's definitely a great version of that, with a lot of the idiosyncrasies with that kind of being removed and whatnot. So overall, loved the series, loved this itself, and I felt like this is a great addition to my Final Fantasy collection overall. Now, next thing that I'm playing is Xenoblade Chronicles 3, except this I've already played. I've already got about 130 hours into it. I got all the quests complete, all the enemies beaten and whatnot. But the DLC for this just came out this past Tuesday, April 25th, I believe it was, April 25th. And that's what I'm currently playing right now. This, of course, is following the storyline of Matthew and another character by the name of A. I'm about 8 to 10 hours into it, I believe. And with this, I think it's like 70 years in the future after the ending of 3, and I was kind of sad to see that there was still conflict and issues going on from this versus after beating this game. Like, you would have thought that it would have, all of that would have been resolved. But it's really cool because a lot of the characters from Xenoblades 1 and 2 are either shown in this or featured in the DLC. And it's overall just been like a whole love letter to the series as a whole. So if you liked Xenoblades 1 and 2 and you played through 3, I definitely recommend getting the DLC. It's a little pricey because you got to buy all 4 volumes at once by buying the expansion pass at $30. But it's well worth it because it's really cool to see a lot of those characters come back, and it looks like we're going to get some resolution to some of the loose threads, especially one of the really large loose threads from the first game. It looks like that's being addressed, so I think overall that's pretty neat. And again, it's the same battle system as Xenoblade 3, which is great. It's probably the best that I've seen Xenoblade overall. My least favorite is 2 because of a lot of the issues I've had with the characters, especially a lot of the stereotyping with a lot of the way that they play them, the voice acting, everything like that. Whereas the Xenoblade 3 DLC takes the best parts of 1 and 2 and marries it into 3, just like the main game was, except it has some of those characters. So it's been, the DLC for that has been fantastic, and I'm hoping for a great end to just an overall great series. I think that's going to be it for this trilogy as a whole. I'm hoping that the DLC, which is called Future Redeemed, that they're going to have a separate game in the case for it, kind of how Xenoblade 2 Torna Country was, because of course I'm an idiot and I'll probably pick that up. That way I've got everything for Xenoblade Chronicles, because I really slept on this series. I didn't play it on the Wii, I didn't play it on the new 3DS when the first one came there, and I was resolved to play it when the definitive edition of 1 came out for the Switch, and I'm so glad I did. This has been such a great series. I've been really happy with it. And finally, one of the things that I've mentioned in my backlog video was a lot of the games that have been sitting in my backlog for some time, and now I've been making some good progress with that, especially with God of War, specifically the PS4 2018 version. And as sad as it sounds, I'd never played this before. I think I'm about 5 to 8 hours through in it, and it's pretty good. It's really action heavy. Not a lot of RPG elements, really. I mean, there's some leveling, but it's more like leveling equipment versus Kratos himself. I've really been enjoying the whole mythological aspect of it. I tried playing the God of War series when it was on the PS2, and I just felt like it was way too formulaic for action game of its time, for like the aughts, early mid-aughts, where you run around, you kill things with weapons, they leave orbs, and the orbs come to you, and you use those to equip or power your character up, and you fight larger-than-life bosses. It was really like God of War / Shadow of the Colossus / Ninja Gaiden-y, and it didn't feel very original for the time, and that's why I was like, I couldn't get into that. Yeah, the bosses are bigger than life, but it felt more showy than clever, and I know that's a hot take, but with this, it's different. It feels different because the battling isn't just incessant. Battles happen like they make sense for where you're at in the story and the game and everything, and it's actually very nuanced. It's very detailed and everything. So you got a light attack, a heavy attack, and everything. You got some magic. I don't think there's magic, but your character's son Atreus has some abilities as well. So it's more than just a escort mission a la BioShock Infinite or Resident Evil 4 with Ashley. He's a competent fighter. He learns as he keeps going along, and he really helps Kratos. So overall, it's been a really good experience. I'm hoping I'll be able to play it through from start to finish. Definitely what am I saying? I definitely recommend this game. Of course, I'm going to recommend this game. Everybody recommends this game, but I kind of have an odd sense when it comes to certain games. Like, I wasn't an Elden Ring fan. Nothing against anybody who is. It just wasn't my cup of tea. This is not at all Elden Ring-like, but sometimes games that are mainstream, I like, some I don't. I like this. And when I'm done with it, I'm going to be playing God of War Ragnarok, and that'll be a good time. From what I've heard, that's kind of more of the same. And definitely think that it's worth playing if you haven't at all, for whatever reason. If you have a PS4 or PS5 and you haven't played it, that's a little strange, but not really, because to each their own. I definitely recommend giving that a playthrough. And so that's pretty much what I got for games I'm playing. Just want to give first impressions on some of these, so you got an idea as to what I'm playing and everything, and especially give you an idea as to how the Xenoblade 3 DLC is, as well as the console versions of the Pixel Remasters for Final Fantasy. I'm not going to be doing an official review of the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, because I already did that when I was on PC Steam. Imagine my review for that, but up at an additional point. So if I give that a 9, I'd say it's a 10 out of 10, because it's such a fantastic package. Worst part of it is the price. It's $75 for all 6 games at once. Maybe wait a little bit if you want all 6. I'm sure it'll go on sale in like 6 to 9 months or so. If you want a single game for Final Fantasy, it's 6. I definitely recommend 6. If you want like real classic style Final Fantasy, I recommend 4. If you want actual like turn-based Final Fantasy without the active time battle, I recommend 3 or maybe 1. So that's all that I got. Let me know what you think about these games. Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters, Xenoblade 3, the DLC, as well as God of War 2018. And let me know what you think in the comments section below. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell for more notifications as to when more videos appear. Again, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I hope you guys all have a great day.